interwebs, and thanks for tuning into Trade Chat. My name's Panzer, and today I'm going to be bringing you a preview of the patch notes for World of Warcraft patch 5.2. I hope you enjoy this video, and if you do, remember to rate it thumbs up. Even though it seems like patch 5.1 just debuted, patch 5.2 is actually right around the corner, with the PTR scheduled to go live in January, which is this month. Patch 5.2 is a pretty big patch. It's going to be bringing a lot of stuff with it, including a new daily quest hub, new world bosses, and a whole new raid, among other things. So let's get right into the video. With patch 5.2, players can expect the introduction of a new area called the Isle of the Thunder King. The Isle of the Thunder King is a quest hub that will obviously bring with it new quest lines, including daily quests, quests that focus specifically on PvP, or quests that focus on PvE, depending on what you're into. There'll also be special events and more, including eventual access to a room called the Treasure Room, which I don't know about you, but I'm very interested in learning more about one said treasure room. That sounds lucrative and interesting and exciting, and I'm into treasure. I don't know, I'm into treasure. Guilty. With patch 5.2, players can also expect to see some changes regarding world bosses, including 2 new world bosses to defeat. The first is Nalek the Stormlord, who won't become available until after Lei Shen has been defeated. The second is Undasta, who is the great Devilsaur Lord, who will be available on the Isle of Giants. Also regarding world bosses, they're changing it so that when a boss is tapped, he'll be tapped to faction rather than tapped to group, which will give more players an opportunity to earn loot from a world boss drop. They're also making world bosses spawn more frequently. As you all know, I am a huge fan of pet battles in World of Warcraft, and patch 5.2 does not disappoint the pet battlers of Azeroth. The first thing they're doing that I think is super awesome is that they are making pet battle bandages stacked to 25, and they will be bind on account rather than bind to character, which is a change I fully approve of and think is necessary. So, way to go Blizzard on that one. I are excited. They are also making it so that if you win a PvP pet battle, you will have the chance to win a battle stone, which, for those of you who aren't aware, a battle stone has the ability to increase the quality of your pet from like green to blue or from gray to green or etc. So right now they're super rare and they're only available through dailies, I think. That's the only place I've ever gotten them. So I'm very excited that there will be another way to obtain them. Another thing that Blizzard is doing regarding pet battles that I think is superb, personally I think it's superb, is they are making it so that if you are not max level and you participate in a pet battle where the pet you are fighting is within 5 levels of the highest level pet on your team and you win, you'll be rewarded experience. If you are already max level and you fight in a scenario like that where the pets are within 5 levels of your highest pet, you will have the opportunity to possibly win a lesser charm of good fortune, which is so cool because those are like rep items and you need them and they're important, and for people who waste hours and hours pet battling, you lose out on opportunities to get those. So I'm very excited about this, and it was worth noting that the higher level your pets are, the better chance that you have of getting a lesser charm of good fortune. Also in 5.2, they've added new pets for you to collect. There will be new pets on the Isle of Lightning that will be from rare spawn drops or from wild pet battles or even from raid drops. They're also adding a new feature called Elite Pet Battles, and these are super cool. They are like beefy, badass pets that will fight solo against your entire team. They're kind of like Pokemon legendaries, I think, sort of. And Blizzard has added a quest to track your progression of hunting down these elite battle pets. Once you complete the quest, you will be rewarded with a red panda cub, which I must have. I must have. I need it. It's not a want, it's a need. Also being added in 5.2 are some new items, like some new mounts. There is a spectral, undead-looking horse called a Ghastly Charger, as well as some badass armored dinosaurs, a Triceratops, a Devilsaur, and a Pterodactyl. Plus, like I said earlier, they'll be adding some new pets, including the red panda that we already talked about. Also, they're adding something called a living sandling, which is going to be like a little like earth sand elemental. And they're also adding a gusty grimoire, which sounds like a floating book. Very interesting. Also being added in 5.2 is a new item that is a Hearthstone item called a Dark Portal. There'll also be some changes and additions to gear in 5.2, including the addition of Tier 15, and heirlooms will scale to 85, and there'll also be new heirlooms added, including Intellect Plate, offhands, and shields. And then, I don't know if you remember when I talked about those Dark Moon hats that we never saw get added. They are adding 2 of them in this patch. They'll be adding the Dark Moon fishing hat, which is a hat, and when you put it on, it increases your fishing skill. And more interestingly, they're adding the Dark Moon top hat, which is consumable. You don't keep it, you only get it for an hour, and while you are using it, and I'm not sure if you actually have to equip it or if it's just a consumable item and then it vanity shows up. I'm not 100% clear on that, but during its little time period, you get 10% increased reputation and experience gain. Also in 5.2, Warlocks are finally getting the quest